A motion by Helmut.
Welcome back to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we are talking about one of our most favorite subjects, which is,
marijuana.
yes, and the people that are dealing with this right now is the Village of Oxford.
Even though the Village of Oxford chooses to use an alternate spelling for it.
Yes, did you see that?
Yeah. I
One
don't know
spells
where
with
that
a
came
J
from.
and the other one with an H. So they're going to confer with the state of Michigan and find out what they want to do with this.
Okay.
So,
Oh, is that what they're going to do?
yeah, that's what I heard. That could be a rumor. I'll
So
spread this one.
how much time is left?
Well, actually, they're saying September is the deadline, but actually it's beyond that. I believe I've heard that they've organized it to November,
The state.
the state.
Oh,
So
okay.
we'll have to see what happens. The one thing with this regulation that's on the books on marijuana from the state level, they're going to be making tweaks to this thing as they go along. Some things are going to find work, some things are going to find, don't work so well. So,
And they can't fall into that trap of, hey, we can make a lot of revenue on this.
yeah.
Tax revenue.
That's for sure, because they're probably not going to realize any major revenue in at least 2, 3, 4 years, including the village. You know.
And what happens, when it graduates from the local little distributing place or vendor to Philip Morris, or
There it goes, kapoof.
then you're getting industrial.
Now you'll get the federal government chasing after you because
Oh, yeah.
they have an issue with those companies.
Interstate commerce.
Yes, they do. So we'll have to see what happens there. Lots of good things or bad things, how you ever look at it, are going to be coming down the track.
To be continued.
To be continued on that, you're right. Questions that came up is what facilitates or facilities would be allowed within certain areas. Mixed use locations. We talked about mixed use before. If you're selling beer, or you sell.
Beer and marijuana?
Right. Now the next question came up is, well, what if you have a processing plant, you have a permit for that, and you have also a transporting permit to do that, and you have a retail permit. Can you have them in the same building? Well, they kind of discussed this, and they said, yeah, you probably could do that. And there's certain regulations, of course, and that's going to have to be worked on first, before it can be determined exactly if that's going to be the case or not.
Is interstate commerce part of this?
It will be, because it's transportation,
But then
you
the
can't
fed-
transport out of state if it's illegal in the state adjacent to you.
But even if it's legal in the state adjacent to you, would the federal government get involved with
They
interstate
would.
commerce then?
They will, you bet.
Okay.
Okay, I'm pretty sure, positive, almost positive.
So it's homegrown industry.
It is.
So
So
to
we'll have to
speak.
see what happens. How do you get it from here to Colorado? Well, they're both legal states, but if there's states in between, you're transporting marijuana, that could be a problem.
Oh, boy.
Problem. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
First time I've been working with him that he's agreed. So this will work good. All right. Growers also. Processors, retailers, all those things have to come under scrutiny. And people are lining up like crazy in the state of Michigan to draw permits for these
Why
processes.
do I think the
Big
vaping
money.
industry is looking at this too?
Yeah, they probably are, but that's a whole different issue too.
Yep.
And that's under
What?
it's under a microscope right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of reports of
People flopping around on the floor.
well, several different symptoms and illnesses, emerging from it.
And the pipes have actually exploded. In some cases, caught fire.
Oh yeah.
And so people get burned on it. I mean, there's a lot of issues involved with that. And,
Well, it's got a
lot-
lithium battery in it, I think,
Yeah,
which
right.
are a little bit touchy.
well, particularly the older ones, lithiums. I think they've done something with the newer ones, but yeah, they've been known that if you're carrying one in your pocket, for example, and even though you're not using it, it's got electrical power to it, can catch fire. All of a sudden, what's that I smell? Oops, it's me. Right? Could be a problem. Not to mention, that kids are using these vape pipes and they don't feel there's any problem at all, because even their parents use them from time to time and they say, that's no problem. And that's kind of how marijuana came about too. There's no problem with marijuana.
You can sure tell when a vape thing is being used because, boy, that thing generates a hell of a mist.
Right. In a car and you're smoking vaping, where'd everybody go? I don't know, that would be a problem, I'm sure.
Well.
But anyway, those are all things that come with this generation, I guess, that we have to deal with. And our government, local government, and also federal government are going to be dealing with this even more extensively as we go along. What they want to make sure is that they balance the local ordinances with the regulations from the state, which is pretty important. One of the things that they're concerned with is the distance that you can smoke marijuana. For example, right now under the regulation from schools, you're allowed to go 1,000 feet from a school to have a facility. Child care center, you're looking for 500 feet. And
Are you
parks-
talking about smoking or selling?
No, I'm talking about selling or using marijuana under the existing laws in the state of Michigan.
What if your house is closer than 1,000 feet? Can you smoke it in your house?
You're not supposed to according to law. So you're not supposed to have it, sell it, or do anything with it. Of course, you can't sell it if you have 12 plants, whatever it is. It's for,
No, that's right, you can
private
grow
use.
your own.
yep. But what the group here is talking about is, hey, there's a building or a property that actually is within 500 feet. 1,000 feet, it wouldn't be able to use that facility, but we wouldn't be able to use it either, from a tax base. Should we reduce it to 500 feet? So they had quite a discussion at one point. I kind of thought they were going to lean in that direction and say, yeah, we'll go 500 feet. I think most of the community here would be upset with that to the school.
It would seem that certain aspects of that would also apply to cigarettes.
Well, it could, but I mean, it's not as intoxicating, the cigarette. I mean, sure,
It's
it's not
addictive.
good, it is, but the marijuana itself can really put you into a stupor, by smelling it. Not a good idea. And also, you'd be close to a facility where there's kids.
True.
And they want to experiment all the time, want to try something new. They find it interesting because one of their buddies is doing it. Let's
Gotta
see
be
what it's
cool.
like. Gotta be cool. And they don't find out later that they get sick from it. And then they say, not so cool.
Well, that's a problem with, getting it, we'll say, from a non-regulated source.
Right,
Is that sometimes that stuff is laced with other things.
right. And they're going to be more educated because it is the state and there's regulations in place, and the state is going to make sure, that the symptoms of what could occur and what to watch out for.
Yep.
But one thing they did come to as a conclusion here is after weighing the distances and where this could go, they said there's really no place downtown that you can do this. You can't
Okay.
sell it, you can't transport it from downtown. The only places that are viable within the village would be northeast of the village and within the village area, or in the Glassby area, the industrial section. You could use it.
Not the residential.
Not the residential, but in the Glassby industrial, they can do that because there's enough space between schools and daycares and that kind of thing. So they came to that conclusion that that's the one they're going to concentrate on. So it looks like it's going in that direction. And when we get more information as they have final meetings on this and the final ordinance is in place, we'll let you know.
Just for comparison, though, the township's regulations say
No.
nothing? No. And Lake Orion says,
Yes.
oh,
So there you have it. So the smoke that comes in this direction, it's not ours. We'll send it back to Lake Orion. Anyhow, we'll talk to you more about this in just a moment, folks. Be right back. Welcome to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
and I'm Dave Kenny.
And we're here to talk about what goes on in the village, the township, all those government people that make laws and regulations that affect you out there.
That's right, Elgin. And whether you live in the village of Oxford, the village of Leonard, Oxford Township, or Addison Township, these are the people that you went and elected. And the commissions and the committees that meet and make decisions that directly affect you, whether you chose to go to that meeting or not. And the result can be a taxing.
Situation.
That's correct.
Most certainly could be, and might be, probably would be, could be. Anyway,
Is.
there's other, is, and there's other things that we look at. Like there's humor in every meeting, and if you don't attend, it'll bubble to the top or it'll float to the bottom, but we have a tendency to drag it out, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of us also spreads rumors. I won't say who, but so you have to pay close attention as we go through this. This is the short.
There's always someone that believes them.
Yes, once in a while, but be very careful of that. And there's always something that comes along here that you want to pay close attention to because it may not be exactly 100% accurate, in which case, like I say, one of us makes up stories occasionally, so you'll determine that as you watch.
What he's saying is we paraphrase and summarize. However, if you want to watch that meeting, which could go for, I don't know, up to 3 hours, depending on how much thing is going on,
Lots of
you can
things.
go to our website, occtv.org, click on programs, and everything is in reverse date order, and you'll see the entire thing. You know, get your chips and your pop and sit back in that easy chair.
Right. Anyway, you know how he watches TV. Anyhow, the other thing is, what is the other thing? Was there another thing?
Nah, no, I got nothing.
Yeah, there's a short version. This is the short version.
Yes.
You can go to the meetings and they last sometimes for hours, days, years, but they run on and on sometimes. This
You have
is
to
the
take a break
abbreviated.
and mow your lawn.
Right. Yeah. This is the abbreviated version though. So this runs roughly about a half an hour complete, and we cover usually a couple of meetings, right?
Sure.
Okay, well, let's get on with it.
All right.
All right, enough chit chat. Village of Oxford Planning Commission meeting held on August 20th. Gary Douglas is the chair for that. It's a special meeting they had. Rose Bema serves on this board. Jack Curtis, Maureen Helmuth, Kelly Cook. Justin Ballard was a guest at this one. He has a background with the subject we're going to talk about in just a moment. Leslie Pilak, she serves on this board. Terry Onika, who's the clerk for the village, was there taking minutes. And let me see, the consultant, Mario Ortega,
Okay.
is present. Very important that he's there because he actually was the meat of this meeting. A concern, our favorite subject,
Begs the question, where's the meat?
it's called marijuana.
Oh, no, not
Yes,
again.
again. This is a marijuana meeting, special meeting, and they really want to conclude this ordinance by September 1st or 2nd
Of this year.
of this year, which is right around the corner. Be careful, the corner will fall right on you. Right. So they had to get moving with it. They, of course, did the pledge. The agenda for August 20th was approved immediately. Let me see, the minutes for July 16th also had to be approved. Correspondence, no correspondence as far as written correspondence or any other way. Public hearing, none. Going to speed this up and get right to the marijuana. Old business, recreation marijuana.
That doesn't sound quite right.
Old marijuana.
Get to the marijuana.
Marijuana, old, yeah. So anyway, this is a thing that's affecting the whole state of Michigan, of course. All the municipalities have to come up with an ordinance if they're going to try to control this substance coming into their area.
Or deny it.
Or deny it, right. So the first thing they had, of course, was a major discussion on this and definitions. Based on the new state regulations and statutes, they didn't want any conflict between what the state has and what the village has. So
Okay.
that's very important. You want to not get the state angry with you out there, not a good idea.
Of course, there's a difference in the marijuana that's smoked and some of the ingredients that have been used for medical purposes. I forget what kind of oil it is, but it's got a 3-letter name like everybody else.
What was it? TC something or other, I think is what it is.
STP?
No,
No.
that's what you put in cars. Now, this is like putting it in a car.
I see.
After you put too much in the car, it doesn't run too well.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do know what you mean. STP, okay. Marijuana. We can spread that, are you spreading that rumor? I think you are.
I think
STP is in marijuana.
No, 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 no.
It's not? Okay. So, but you can buy it on a shelf probably less money than what you'd spend, buying it in I want to say drugstore, but it's not really a
They
drugstore.
don't sell STP in a drugstore.
Oh, well,
In
they
some
could.
drugstores, they could.
Right. But now you're straying away. Let's get back to the marijuana.
But I think you need a prescription for it.
You could. Well, there are several classifications for the marijuana. One is Class C, and somebody said, what happened to Class A and B? Well, we have Class A and B also, Mario said. And it's based on, I believe, the volume or the number of plants that are allowed to process.
Oh, I thought it was on the potency of the drug. Like, they have heroin and they have other cocaine and all that other good stuff.
No, these are all
No?
under the marijuana.
Oh, it's strictly marijuana grade.
This is a marijuana grade,
Oh,
A, B, or C. Yep. Let me see.
So
A
A-
could be a one planter. B could be a two planter.
oh.
Anyhow, they're going to get more involved in these because they're state regulated in terms of ABC.
Anyhow, what did Mario say?
Mario said, we'll get back to this at a later date.
Oh, no.
So there we go. But anyway, so a lot of questions concerning the ABC, but not a whole lot of information given because it's pretty much regulated under the state. So, and it's an unchangeable thing in the state.
Is
Now,
the state in agreement with federal law?
what federal law? Federal law says you can't have marijuana, period.
Doesn't federal law state Trump law? Or Trump state law?
I have no idea what you're even talking about. You want to fill me in on it?
No, I mean, if
Uh,
the federal government has a law and it assumes responsibility for that law, it trumps whatever the state is going to put in effect, right?
Yes, it does. So what might happen here, all these states have decided that they're going to do this because you people voted for it out there. And everybody goes into business and they all spend thousands and thousands, maybe $1 million or more, doing a processing plan or whatever they need to do to get a permit. They do all this and all of a sudden somebody, the next president comes in maybe and says, you know what, here's a law on the books here federally. We need to enforce this law. No marijuana. Kapoof. There it goes. Because the federal government does.
They have a choice as to whether to enforce a law or not?
What they do. It's like,
The law is the law, says Javert.
look, it's like the smoking law. Cigarettes. You can't buy cigarettes unless you're what? 21?
Yeah.
Okay. How many people do you know that are 18, 17, 16 that smoke cigarettes? Where do they get them? They don't look like they're rolled up. They get them from
They
stores.
fall like manna from the sky.
Right?
Sure
Right.
they do.
But that's why the police, check various stores to see if they're selling cigarettes to minors, that kind of thing. And Food and Drug Administration, they'll go after, stores or, retailers. Same as liquor, right? You know that.
Well, sure.
Okay.
All they have to do is look at their security cameras
Right,
and they can
right.
tell whether they're doing it or not.
Actually, I want to say there have been states that have provided marijuana for their states through the vote of the people, only to find out it was more of a problem and a dangerous situation for younger people, adolescents that were smoking it. And so eventually they did away with it. They voted again, put it on the ballot, and people said, no marijuana here. So one of those states
How did
is
that
out in
work?
the
How did that
northeast,
work?
Northwest. How did it work? It worked
Saying
a lot better.
it's cut off and having it being cut off.
Well, if you had a big investment, it wasn't too good for you, I can tell you
Yeah,
that. But
yeah,
the
that's
people
true.
that, were having issues within the
Well, they've been
places-
dipping this in and wringing it out now for the last, 4 or 5 years?
Yes, and out. And anyhow,
Yeah.
let's talk about that when we come back. Right
Okay.
after this. Welcome back to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
We've been having fun with the marijuana and what's going on in
Well, we've been
Oxford.
talking about it.
In the village of Oxford, right. We know that the township is, prohibited, marijuana in the township. So anyway, now let's talk about Addison Township Board meeting, which is held on August 19th, just a little while ago. Bruce Pearson is the supervisor of the township. Pauline Bennett serves as the clerk. Lori Fisher is the treasurer. Jacob Newby, board member, trustee. Joel King, Linda Garrick, and Eric Sent. And everyone was present. I
Oh,
love,
not to beat a dead horse, but what's Addison Township's view of marijuana?
marijuana. They've put a hold on it.
Okay,
They're not doing anything
Okay.
with it right now.
all right.
They're going to check and see how many people get killed and die and emulsified in Oxford before they go forward with it. I think they're going to be okay. And they're particularly keeping an eye on,
Oxford.
yeah. So anyway, this is close to their border.
I know.
Anyhow,
Well,
they-
everyone, yeah.
yeah, you know, we're going to kill this one before we're done. Okay, the pledge, did the pledge, of course, and had a prayer. Jacob Noopy provided the prayer, as he usually does. Department,
please.
yeah, department report. Actually, we're supposed to have John Riley, who's with the House of Representatives in the state of Michigan. He was supposed to be there, but he
He's
had
from Lake
something.
Orion, isn't he?
He actually covers Oxford too. And
Well, I know, but he lives
yeah.
in Lake Orion.
Yeah, he lives in.
Okay,
Yeah, he does. Won't give out his address here though. He's a pretty nice guy.
not yet.
Actually, he's working pretty hard, you know, for
Yeah.
the folks in this area. I get a letter every once in a while, email, you know,
Oh.
as to what's going on in the state. Very progressive, watching out for the school system and finances, you know, that are required for local folks like you and me in this
Okay.
area. So,
Well,
anyway,
anyhow, he wasn't there.
he wasn't there, but he's going to be there at the next meeting, I think, coming up in September. He had an urgency come up, but unable to do it. So anyway, financial report was the next thing. They ran through that quickly. Agenda, an addendum was asked for by Clerk Bennett, which was added to the curriculum, the agenda. Consent agenda was the next thing, which consisted of a lot of things already pre-approved. July 15th, 2019 minutes were approved. Bills for July 2019. We're going to go through these as quick as we can. Authorize the letter and expenditure not to exceed $8,000 for Addison for seniors, OPC, annual membership, and that was approved a while back. And also, let me see, authorize the Oakland County, IT agreement with the Oakland County. for
IP?
IT. Equipment, computer.
Okay,
So that was approved, which should be, they need the connection.
all right.
Let me see, what else? Resolution to appoint an ordinance officer. Okay, that's in progress right now. Ready to go. Haven't selected anybody yet at this point. Authorized, if required, to reduce the rate of special use application review fees. Oh, okay. Application by 50% for review. You know, when they apply for a review, site review, that kind of thing, they get it from the library. The library is charging actually the full extent, which they discovered that because they're a government entity, they can't do that. So they amended that to 50%.
Okay.
So that's good for you folks out there.
Where'd that revenue go?
Probably back to the government.
Not the library.
Probably not. Well, eventually it will be because the library depends on the government, of course.
Well,
You know,
they throw it in the pool and they get something back from the pool.
what kind of a pool?
Money pool.
Oh, okay. How big is the pool?
I don't know, but it better not go dry.
Don't play pool, folks. You could lose.
No.
Anyway, here we are. Let me see. Approve purchase of an additional expense, which is $4,652 for an ambulance, which turned out to be higher than what they anticipated when they purchased the ambulance. So I said, oops, we owe $4,000 more. Where are we going to get it? Okay, well, guess what? They just got it.
Okay.
Okay, budget amendment, engineering recovery and engineering fees, both to be increased by $15,000. So where one went down the library, the other one's coming up. Amended budget also was changed to $25,000. So give them a little more. Talk about the pool. There's a pool.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, there's the pool. Excuse me. Amendment or an appointment. Okay, a couple appointments were made. A 3-year term for a park ranger, Scott Mikulski, as a park ranger, was quickly approved. A 3-year planning commission positions were needed. They're a little short on planning commissioners, but they got Lauren Smith and Joe Schnur and Jean Lowart on this board. And they've served on this board before.
Okay.
So it's good they've got, seasoned people. 3-year term for Park Committee. Oh, you're gonna recognize this guy. Lawrence Smith, Charlie Perinian. Remember Charlie?
What's his name
Remember?
again?
Perinian.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I knew you would.
yeah.
We used to do the park for Addison Township all the time. It's pretty neat. There were ones that put up tags for this is poison ivy, this is whatever the plant was, you know.
This is not poison ivy?
Right.
But what is
This
it?
is the porcupine. Don't pet the bear behind the woods. You know, those kind of things.
No, don't poke the bear in any
Hey,
case.
I'll tell you what, these are hardworking guys on this board on the park. You just check out the parks over there at Addison. They're terrific. And these are people that have been doing this for years, so that's why I'm familiar with them, and I know you are too. Okay, good job, guys. Keep it up. So, they're going to be serving a 3-year term again. This makes Charlie how many years? 18 years? 20 years?
Ah.
Long time.
Another hash mark on his uniform.
Right, yeah, I think so. Well, he got it all the way up his sleeve now. 5-year also approved for the fire board for Mark Smith. And Mark has been on this board before too. And yeah, they got all pretty good people here. Interesting. And no problems volunteering. These people all volunteer. So that takes care of the appointments. Public hearing, an SAD for Dorn Street, or Dorn Road. Rescind the old SAD. They had an old one, so it had to be, renewed for 2019, 2023. $500 a year for each property owner along that road, and it'll be for 5 years. Okay, 5 and 5.
And
Pretty
after
simple.
that?
Then after that, they'll have to go for another SAD. And what
Okay.
that does is it covers snow plowing, graveling, grading, all those kinds of
And
things.
that allows them to adjust for any increase in costs too.
Sure, yep, so you're pretty well fixed for that period. Don't have to worry about it now.
Right.
5 years, you might have to worry about it. We'll have to see what it is now. Then, let me see, it'd be $20,000. No. We'll spread that rumor. No, could be only $1. Depends on what happens, but I think in probably 5 years, I'm not sure Bruce Pearson will be in that position, supervisor of township, but maybe he'll
As
train
they say,
somebody.
it'll be someone else's problem.
Yeah, but he might train somebody really, really well to find out how to strip the bark off the tree and sell the bark. But I'm pretty sure it'll work that way. Planning Commission authorization to review lake lot properties was also discussed, and quickly resolved was a Lake Villa Animal Clinic. He's going to put an addition on, Dr. Patrick Glidden, or Glyden, is it? Could be either, spelled the same. Anyway, 3500 Lakeville Road. He's been working on this for a long time, finally approved, so he's going to put the addition on. And also a resolution for Plainview, storage facility owned by Brett Peglowski. And the problem there is the site plan isn't complete and has to go back to the Planning Commission. And with that, hopefully if he does the proper adjustments, he should be fine. What's coming up?
Well, we only don't have too many meetings, but on 9/3 at 7 o'clock, the Village of Oxford Planning Commission, check on that one, sometimes they cancel. And on 9/9 at 7 o'clock, the Oxford Township Zoning Board of Appeals, once again, check on that one. And that same day at 7 o'clock, the Village of Leonard Council, I'm sure they'll be meeting.
Yes. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And this is Minutes by Minute. Come right back here next time and catch us here.
See you then, whenever.